Howdy, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well and you're staying warm and you're not traveling in ice because it can be dangerous. Um, I had to, I got this little light it, because my camera is kind of dark and I don't know why and I can't adjust it because it's not like a regular computer. So I got this one little light for my computer. It's a little thing like this and it kind of shines on my face. So if I kind of like this every once in a while, it's probably because the light is like affecting my eyes. But you know what I gotta do. Things you gotta do for the camera, I suppose. Um. Anyway, I went to my counseling session today. It was a pretty good counseling session. I talked about a lot of things. Um, some of the things that was brought up was uh, how I have a hard time with talking about things about myself. I think we had discussed this. I discussed this in one of my previous videos about how I was going to work on that. And you know, I for people who know me, has known me for many many years, ever since I was a kid. You know what's happened in my life, and growing up. Uh, you know. Whew. um, I was I wasn't brought up very nice in certain things. Um, After I was adopted, there were some things that had happened, and by only one person, and so it affected me. Uh, and he is no longer with us, so he passed away ways back. Um, and But he had done some things to me, and he had brainwashed me a lot of in my brain a lot, and I didn't realize how much and how deep the things he had said. I mean, the things that he done, you know, I've been dealing with, but the things that he had, um, like, really pushed within me in my brain, has embedded in my brain, has affected me for a very long time. And that goes with relationships of any kind. Friendships, lovers. It's been it's really rough. You know, it's, it's uncomfortable to talk about it, but I need to. I needed. These are the things that I need to talk about. And my counselor's like, well, as long as if you're doing vlogging, you might as well talk about it. Maybe you could help somebody else that's went through this similar situation. So that's what I'm doing, trying to do. So be patient with me. um, but anyway, things were embedded into my brain, like to not discuss too much how you feel about things. Keep it quiet, because if you tell people how you feel, then you're showing weakness, and you're showing vulnerability, and you are being selfish. So when I get into relationships, they'd want me to talk about things, talk about my feelings. I mean, if I got mad, they knew I got mad. Um, Crying. It's still kind of hard for me to do that in front of people, but I do it. But I hate myself for doing it. Um, so showing how telling people how I feel, is really hard. Um, and I remember writing um, poetry. Now, I don't write poetry like I used to. And when I wrote the poetry when I was younger, they were poems about how I was feeling, in my heart, how things were affecting me. And they were a little dark because in that time of my life, there was things that was dark. I wasn't happy being, in the situation that I was in. Uh, with my dad. I don't like calling him my dad, but that man that was married to my mom, my adopted mom. So, anyway, I showed somebody my poems within the family, and she said they were very morbid and dark. So I stopped writing them. I stopped expressing them in that sort of way, telling people how I feel because, it's sad, it's morbid, it's dark. You know, I guess some people just want you to be a ray of sunshine, and it's, when you grew up how I have, it's kind of hard to do that. So you just learn to, I just learned to mask it, to keep it inside. And when I got mad, I got really freaking mad. I got mad. Not violent mad, but mad. And to where I would just, blah, this venom would come out. And things I didn't mean. Because I had kept it all inside. I just kept letting things build and build. So me and my counselor are trying to work on me expressing my feelings a little bit more. You know, and it's hard because, like she was saying, you don't want to come off like an asshole to people that's hurt you or that you don't trust. So you keep it inside until you blow up. And that's what I done. So now I'm learning to take a break before I say something to somebody that's hurt me and step back and recess the situation and think about it and then tell them. Because I don't like hurting anybody's feelings. Anybody who knows me knows I really don't like hurting anybody's feelings. But when I was angry, I didn't really care. But if I'm hurting, I don't. It's really, see, I'm telling you, this is difficult. I'm not used to all these emotions. So, but I'm trying to be more verbal and be open and honest about my feelings. Like right now, there's a situation to where, without saying names or getting too graphic in things, but anyway, this person's, they say, oh, I miss you, want to hang out, but they don't. And yeah, they're going through a lot of things too, but I think if you really care about somebody and really love them, you're going to always find time for them. Always going to find time for them. And, but, you see them doing other things and you kind of go, oh, you have time for that, but you don't have time to hang out with me. Which, and then so now I've got to the point where in my life that I'm kind of like, I step back and I put a screen door up. So, it's like, hey, I'm still here if you want to talk, but I'm not going to make the effort and I'm not going to open that door for you to hurt me again. Because, things were supposed to be different. And this is just a friend. And I'm not going to make an effort anymore. I'm just not. You want to talk, great. Text me, whatever. But I'm not going to reach out. I'm just not anymore. I'm tired of that situation. So I have a really I'm sitting here sweating, believe it or not, because this is something that, my counselor's like, this would be really good for you. It's going to be hard. So yeah, I mean, wow. Let me pause this for a second. Okay. I had to think about stuff. But yeah, I'm trying really, really hard to express my feelings. I have great friends who check up on me and talk to me, and knows that when I get into a funk, they're still around, they're still my friend. And then I have people who are my friends, and I get into a funk, and they just kind of, they just kind of want nothing to do with me until I'm happy again, which, that kind of bothers me too. What is those people called? Fair weather friends. And, I always try to be there for people, try to be. Um, so, you know, even if they're funky, even if they're crying, even if they're mad, they're angry, they're scared, I try to be there for people. And what I got to do is, like she said, I got to wean out those kind of people, because those are negative to my zen, my 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 being. And those are the people that, you know, before in the past I would just always hang on to, and I can't do that anymore, because I have to take care of me, and that's very hard. Because I don't want to be selfish. I really don't. Um, and I think the hardest thing that I've had to learn, and have kicked myself over and over again about being selfish, is when I came here to New York to transition and leave behind things back home. Now, you want to talk about somebody who's carried around a selfish, feeling selfish for that. I have. It's like, yay, I've finally gotten a point in my life where I'm able to move forward onto my next journey. And that's, moving out of New York, and um, being happy, and being loved, and being closer to Joe. So, and being closer to my family and friends again down there. And like I said, I for a long time I felt very, very selfish. And that bothered me a lot. So, it still does. Still does. I still feel selfish for what I did, thinking about myself. And, I don't care what my counselor said. She's like, well, if you hadn't have, you would have been unhappy. You'd end up doing something to yourself. You'd end up, you would not have felt happy. You would have just been very depressed, and probably wouldn't even have lived, because I couldn't have been who I wanted to be, who I always felt I was inside. But still, I still regret it. I still feel bad. So I'm running over a little bit, so I'm going to do a number 2. So, see you in a bit.